Bring in more revenue while saving money and differentiate yourself from the rest of the pack vying to win those guests by becoming more environmentally friendly. We will show you how easy it is and how cheap it can be, if not free, and share all the opportunities available. So join us each week as we take another step along the green path. That's one more step to differentiate yourself from the rest of the pack. The Green Path podcast is kindly sponsored by Sustonica, the first sustainability recognition for vacation rental homes. What if vacation rental professionals could influence millions of travellers to make their own homes more sustainable? Show the world that you have taken steps to make your vacation rental consume less and get your badge on sustonica.com. Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Green Path podcast. One of the things that we've discussed over the episodes is when you've started along your Green Path journey, you should be sharing it on your website and even including a slide perhaps on your OTA listing, and of course, share it with your guests. And what better way to advertise this than having an accreditation? The Green Path podcast sponsor is the industry's first accreditation platform, and today we're going to learn what it takes to get your own badge. Today, I'm chatting with the founder of Sustonica, Vanessa de Souza Lage. Hello, Vanessa. How are you?
I'm very well. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much for coming along, and thank you very much for sponsoring this podcast.
It made a lot of sense, of course.
Yes. Now, Vanessa, before we start talking about Sustonica, can we start with your own personal journey to becoming greener? What made you start on your journey, and what are the things that you're doing?
I had an upbringing that was in nature, very much respectful of nature. I went to a boarding school where, a very long time ago, we already cycled and the kids had to, we had a compost garden. And so I had an education all around that anyway. And then, there was a time that I became a vegan. I was very much impressed with the documentary called Cowspiracy. I don't know if you saw it.
No.
After that, I became a vegan for I think a year and a half or so. Before that, I was vegetarian anyway, and all related, to the effects that eating meat has on the environment. So I think all my life I've been mindful of what we do in terms of the planet. And then after I left Rentals United, I thought, well, sustainability is a topic that we haven't been taking very seriously in the vacation rental industry. And I spent about a year deciding and researching how we can introduce this topic in the most impactful way, but also in the easiest fashion for property managers around the world. And this is how the idea of Sustonica came about.
And you hit the nail on the head, easy. I think there are a lot of aspects of sustainability. When people hear, carbon footprint or accreditation, they think, I don't know how to do it, or it's going to be complicated. But I think if it's made easy, then people should be looking into it. So as a property manager, what are the sort of steps involved in getting a badge? And you've got different levels of badges. So can you tell us a little bit about those?
Yeah, sure. So the badge is very much a badge for the actual property. So we don't look at how property managers run their business, how they do their laundry, how their offices are, whether they have a good diversity in terms of team. We don't look at that aspect of sustainability, because sustainability obviously is a very large topic. What we do look at, what I thought would be the most impactful is the home. How much energy are we spending in the home, and how can we make sure that we reduce it? So these badges are focused on that. They're focused on looking at what you have inside the home, the amenities that you have inside the home, and there's also an aspect of social responsibility in terms of your welcome guide, your guidebook. Do you recommend local heritage sites, vegan restaurants, local list of EV chargers, etc. So there's both. It's not just the environmentally friendly aspects of the property, but also how do you recommend the community, and how do you help the community with your guests? with recommending things to your guests.
Mm.
And so the 3 badges, how it works. Basically, you register and you tell us how many properties you would like to have verified. So there's a step of verification. We don't let you just say yes we have, yes we have, yes we have without verifying.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where we come in. We verify. How do we verify? Today, we ask you to book a video call with us on WhatsApp. Mm-hmm. And one of our agents is with you and takes you through the property. And we tick, tick, tick what you have, what you don't have. So things like, is the fridge ABC energy in Europe or the equivalent in the US? Do you have induction cooktop? How are your shower heads? Are they low flow? Do you have dual flush toilets, etc.? All the things that are visible that we can actually visibly verify. Mm. And so this happens via video call at the moment. And going forward, we're building a way that you yourself can take photos of all the criteria that we have. We geo-localize you in that moment. You have a number of minutes to go through your property and take the photos that we need. And we're developing a AI way of checking whether you have the criteria that we need you to have in order to pass the badge. Mm-hmm. Now, the badges, there are 3 of them. You need at least 33% of the criteria that we have in order to pass the first badge, which is the committed badge. And then the badges go up. And to be exceptional, well, you have to have quite a few things that fit. So our clients are, we have all sorts. We have people who have not yet put their property on the market, and they're very interesting for us because they come to us. I'm furnishing at the moment, and I've looked at your criteria, and I'm going to make sure that my property will be exceptional. Mm-hmm. And that's wonderful because they're doing things right from the beginning. Then we have obviously property owners and managers who've been working for a long time who look at the criteria and see, there are many things that I can add on without too much effort. For example, everything that goes in the guidebook. Which all of these lists that we ask you to create, they're a point each, so it raises the bar, and so it's very interesting. So the way to get ready for this process is to check the criteria that we have on the website, and take the test. There's a test that you can take. Yes, I have this. Yes, I have that, and then it gives you already the points that you would mark. And what we found is that people do this. They take the test, and they go back. They make certain changes, and then they come for the video call as they're ready. So yeah, that's the process in a nutshell.
Yeah, I went through the test, and I thought, what a great checklist. This is telling me what the things that I need to have or do in my property. You could almost just work your way through it and end up with, well, maybe not 100%, maybe not the what was the last badge called? Not committed? Exceptional. Yeah. So there's a checklist there. And as you just touched on, that's a really interesting one about the guidebook. Mm-hmm. Having the local businesses and the vegan restaurants as part of your guidebook is free. You do it yourself. And already there's a point or a few points there. Yeah. And it's something that everyone can do. We all have our guidebooks. Yeah. And that one I hadn't thought of before, but that's a great one.
And I'm speaking to all the guidebook providers, and they're very interested in having this already preset in their list, so that it's even easier for people to then fill it in. So they may do this from the beginning. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we're not asking people to install solar panels, or do extensive changes at all. There are a few things that you can do that saves a lot of energy. We just don't realize that can save a lot of energy, a lot of water, and that's just good for the planet. And then, really, the big mission behind this is that our aim is to touch 10 million homes, because we say that about 10 million vacation rentals around the world, right? So our mission is to get 10 million homes to reduce their energy consumption, and as a result, influence the 450 million guests that come through these homes every year. And by clever messaging inside the property and previous communication, influencing them and changing their own lifestyle, changing their own homes. And looking at this with different eyes. Oh, but this is not that hard, and yes, I can be more responsible. So that's our big aim, because 10 million homes is okay, it's an okay number, but if you think about 450 million travelers, then it really has impact. This idea,
yeah. And this is something else that we're talking about, advertising the fact that you're being sustainable and all the things you're doing on your website.
Yeah.
And how many people are actually sharing that information in the home? So I was actually at a resort in January, and of all places to hang the page about how they're being sustainable and their water usage, it was in the bathroom, in the precise place where, you might want to do a bit of reading. And I thought, brilliant. This is brilliant. This is going to get in front of every guest staying at this property.
Yeah, very good.
Every room. And we're learning about what they're doing in terms of water usage and there is their sustainability message right there. And they also included a message. I didn't catch it straight away, but it was in the dining room. So they also talk about the food and no food wastage. So I think it actually is really important that we do share what we're doing in the property, so a guest can see, oh, that's pretty painless. I could do this at home. Why not? What are the benefits, et cetera, et cetera? They could do it too. I think it's a great thing. Yeah.
One of the things that I love, and I found a company, a startup that does it. It's a water filter that you put on the tap, and it's like $90 for the year with refills. You change every 2 months. You change the filter. And you can install it yourself. I'm not a manual source, so I managed to do it myself. And no more buying water bottles, no more buying plastic bottles, saves money also, because property managers always leave a water bottle or should leave a water bottle for guests on arrival, but it's plastic, right? And no more guests having to go downstairs buying, liters of plastic bottles of water. Just stick the filter on the tap water and you have drinkable water. It's really clever ideas like this. Lots of tech ideas as well in the criteria. We love the occupancy sensor. If you know about this, the occupancy sensor which knows when there are people in the property, and if they're not, then it turns off the aircon and the heating. This saves a huge amount of energy, as people always leave it on as they leave, because they don't take such care because they're on holiday. So it's small things that make a whole lot of difference.
And even smart meters. And smart meters. I was talking to someone, and it's not the building isn't the thing that chews up the power and the water. It's the people in it. So making people aware of what they're using and ways to save, then that's the first step.
Absolutely. Without bothering them. I mean, these are small groups. And the language that we use, I've just been on a course actually on how to use the language. We say the S word, careful. You don't want to force people to do things. You want to show them the benefits of doing things,
and how easy it is.
Please recycle with us, because you're protecting our community, making sure that Barcelona, in my case, remains a beautiful city. Clever messaging. Or I have one like sleep like a panda, because we recommend putting bamboo linens as opposed to your normal cotton linen spreads, or ecological cotton linens, etc. Sleep like a panda in these linens, and encouraging them to see there's other ways of living that doesn't have to cost me an arm and a leg. Recycled toilet paper. Recycled paper rolls, for the kitchen. It doesn't cost more. At times it costs less, but we're making sure that we're more mindful. Why so much waste?
Yeah.
And the one that gets me most, and I have been going into a hotel and straight back out, the shampoo, the shampoo bottles, the single plastic shampoo bottles. That's just, that shouldn't exist anymore. They then are trashed and they stay 100 years in landfills. Don't give me that. Don't give me that. Give me refillable or give me biodegradable plastic toiletries, which there are very many available today.
Yes.
Small things, easy things. Just a question of thinking about it. And I think our criteria is kind of an easy path, an easy green path to get this done. Yeah.
But the thing is, some of these green steps are actually more cost effective. Instead of these little amenities, those big refillables, it's more cost effective to do it. So like stop with small amenities.
Yes. On top of it. Yeah. And you can brand them. I mean, people are like, yeah, but I brand my small bottles. You can brand the big ones too.
Yeah.
Not a problem. You can do that.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
That's great. Now, with the badges, can the badges be displayed on OTAs? I think I read somewhere that you're checking with them, but the people's badges that can be displayed everywhere and including in the property, correct?
Yeah. So the idea, we're in touch with all the very massive OTAs, and the conversations will take a while, but the idea is that yes, absolutely, we will be part of their filters. So as you search for sustainable accommodation, or however the giants want to call it, 1 leaf, 2 leaves, 3 leaves, etc., you will be part of the results of filtering. But for now, obviously, we have a much easier time with the smaller OTAs. Smiling House Luxury, for example, will be one of our first OTA to show the badge in their filtering, and it makes a lot of sense for luxury properties, and luxury travelers maybe more inclined to look out for sustainable accommodation as opposed to maybe more budget-friendly travelers. And so the conversation are continuing with all the OTAs. But yes, that's absolutely the idea, is that we want to have one standard in the vacation rental industry. I think it's really important. In hotel world, there's about 200 certifications, and it's very confusing for the guests. It's confusing for the hotels. I mean, they're very pricey. They're time consuming, unscalable in terms of our product. So really, we're building a process that is really scalable, made for our industry in particular. And yes, the idea is that you can see it there on OTAs, and you can put it on your website. At the moment, we're doing the work of helping you to recreate your About Us page to include your sustainability pillar in it. We show you where on your own website you can put the filtering, where to put the badge, what kind of text you want to include. Soon we'll be outsourcing that, part of the marketing aspects. But right now, as we're young and starting, we're helping all our clients to how to promote once they pass the badges. So it's very exciting. It's very exciting for everyone. Yeah, we're very excited about the future.
Yes, absolutely. One question I have, and you have to answer it in as layman terms as possible, is the certificate. When one gets their certificate, it's located, or it lives on the blockchain. Can we explain that?
So it's the Ethereum blockchain.
Yeah.
It's a software that gives us this. Okay, I have to explain it very easily. It's a software that is not Sustonica. It's a separate software that is able to record the ID of your badge on the Ethereum blockchain. Means it's immutable. It sits there as a contract. Blockchain is all about immutable contracts. So it's immutable. It can't be copied. It can't be reused, etc. It's there. So once you get your badge, you have your ID for your property, and that is immutable, uncopyable. And it's really important because otherwise, of course, you can imagine that some people want to copy,
Yeah.
you know, and use the badge for themselves. So we had to think about that maybe some people are not going to be quite truthful and honest about it. So that's why the blockchain aspect came in.
Great, good.
Yeah.
Now, last question. How much does it cost to certify a property?
Yeah. So right now in its first year, it's 40 euros per property. And yeah, that's it. We are looking to have, because right now we give out the badge, we verify the information. We are looking at getting some auditors that will audit this information as well. And this may be a set that will be required for the larger OTAs. So it's 40 for us, and there may be an extra charge for the auditors, which, you know, we're currently getting auditors all over the world and see how that works. But yeah, that's pretty much I think what's going to happen. You're going to have an extra charge of an auditing. Which won't be an arm and leg. I mean, I'm looking at the same kind of price. So
well, it all sounds like a no-brainer to me. Absolutely. You've got the checklist, you work your way through the checklist, you get your points, you get your badge, and you share it far and wide.
Exactly. And you convince your local governments that, you know, you're doing the right thing, and your property owners that, you know, your properties are of the good kind, that, you know, your guests consume less. I mean, there's lots of benefits to it. And, you know, the more people join us now, the more likely we're going to, you know, to make a real difference quickly. So thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak about it.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. We are going to wrap up now, but is there anything else about Sustonica that we should know about before we head off?
I don't, well, maybe my email address. If anybody
I'll put all of that. I will put that's how I'm going to wrap up. I will put the link and email address and anything else in the description below. And if you have any questions or comments for Vanessa or Sustonica, pop them in the comments below. Vanessa, so it's been great learning about Sustonica, all the details. It's fantastic, really good. Thank you so much for your time. Thanks, Vanessa. Bye.
Bye.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that episode and were at least a little bit inspired. If you'd like to catch up on the other episodes that you've missed, just head to thegreenpathpodcast.com. See you next time.